So we asked the question,
Is this the right time to reinvest money back into your business?
that's kind of crazy right now with everything going on. You know, how do you justify that? I know listening to some of these people, they talk about this is the time of opportunity. It's hard to look at it that way when everything is so devastated and everything is happening in the world right now today. But is it the right time? I mean, you know, with all this chaos, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, we get opportunity.
Sure.
You know? I mean, and that's where a lot of people in this country have made their money. You know?
There's definitely winners and losers.
Yeah.
There's in this, not just in this cycle right now that we're going through, you know, this turbulent, but in any cycle, in the upswing and the downswing. I mean, the markets, companies emerge out of nothing. You know, we talked about it. I don't know if it was when we talked about it in the morning or something. Where Quicken Loans. Who was Quicken Loans before 2008? Right when the crash in 2008. They're bigger. They took over Detroit.
Yeah.
Right. The old. You know,
in Detroit, that was
all car manufacturing, and it was all car manufacturing.
Yeah.
The manufacturing industry died, and so now the service-based economy, and you see all those things. 1999, the tech bubble, when the tech bubble happened, right, which was the trigger. It wasn't like the corona, right, which is so deadly, right? But you saw the companies vanished,
Yeah.
right? Eckerd's, remember Eckerd's?
Eckerd's,
gone.
Yeah.
Companies like that vanished.
Owned by their employees.
Gone. Companies like that. So you know, there's winners and losers in all and on all these cycles.
All these cycles and all these.
Just which side are we going to be on, and which side,
Yeah.
you know, and how do you figure that out?
I think one of the most important advices that I heard in some of the things that we do with our digital marketing is you can't panic, especially when it comes to business. And you know what we do. Sometimes, like yesterday, was a crazy day at the office. You know, publishing a magazine, you walk in and you have a whole idea of what your day's going to look like, and you plan it out. And then you walk in, and the first news you get just throws you off completely. And then the next 8 hours you spend it, you know, putting out flames, fixing things that you didn't even know were broken that day. You know, an email comes in and throws everything out of whack. And I think the most important thing is not to panic and to try to stay focused, which is what this whole cigar break is about. Sure. You know, it's and we've been doing it for years. We take a break, and it's not a break as in BREAK. It's
right.
BRAKE. In other words, you got to put the brakes on the craziness in your office and the craziness in your business and what's going on. You have to stop, reevaluate, pivot, and you have to look at other things, which is what we do. We do it on a daily basis. We stop, get a cigar, relax, have some coffee, and kind of refocus what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. You know, and we have to do that because days, weeks, and months go by, and you won't focus on what you have to do in your business because you're basically just one step behind everything, and you're putting out flames. And nowadays, putting out flames doesn't grow. Your business doesn't grow that way. Your business has to grow, making the right steps, taking steps forward.
That's right.
You know, how do you do that? Where do you invest? How do you invest into your business? If you don't invest if you don't feed the monster doesn't grow. So we're not in business just to sustain and survive. We're in business to grow. If you don't grow, you die.
That's right.
So we have to look at that on a daily basis, and we have to obviously put out flames, and we have to obviously do that. But if we don't take a break, putting on the brakes and reevaluate and refocus on your goals for that day, you don't get them done. You know,
and they change. So we're in a turbulent environment. So this turbulent environment, which we were talking about, where do we reinvest? Right? Where our resources, cash, capital, digital assets. Right? You know, this is a period. Every time these cycles happen, everybody just kind of reallocates their chips, right? Kind of like a Monopoly game, right? You kind of reallocate your chips. Where are you? What are you doing? How do we move forward? And it changes. It's constantly moving. But there's one thing that's definite, right? Is that there's still consumers out there. There's still transactions happening, right? They're going to continue to happen at some point. 5 months from now, 6 months, or 12. Who knows? 3 months from now, 2 months from now. We don't know when, but the currency system, the global economy is gonna, there's gonna be transactions again. So at that point, like, who has the lion's share of the customers? Right? When 2008 came and went, right, there were still car consumers. There were still people, after the aftermath, there were still people buying stuff.
You have to be ready.
Who was the companies that were in line to receive that new influx of business? Okay? And that preparation, it doesn't. You don't make. You can make a crazy decision and it pan out. But statistically, right, it's when you take the brake, when you put on the brakes, when you slow down, when you process things, right, and you look for the angle where the opportunity is, right. You got to acquire more customers. You got to acquire more traffic online. You have to acquire more leads. You have to be able to engage with them and be able to close the sale online now more than ever.
Yeah. Businesses have to innovate. They have to innovate and they have to figure out how to get through. In my business, I may be stopped for the next 2 months, but I can't stop. Because if you stop, that means you have to start all over again. I've had 37 years of momentum in publishing. If I stop all of a sudden, it would be the first time in 37 years that I've stopped. So I have to keep going. I have to keep publishing in May. I have to keep publishing a June issue, regardless of what my advertisers are doing and how they're doing it. And I understand what they have to do. This is a time where advertising, especially for the luxury market, is a little bit down, and they have to stop because there's consequences. But I have to keep publishing. I have to keep publishing, and I can't lose that rhythm because then come July when I start again and my advertisers come back, I cannot have missed a beat. I have to keep going. I have to keep the business.
That's right.
Slow, fast, whatever. Hopefully, this bounces back as fast as it sprung on us. But we life goes on, and you have to be prepared and ready.
Today's commodity is content. Today's biggest commodity is content. As a publishing for 37 years, you've been producing content for 37 years consistently, month in, month out, month in, month out, month in, month out. And the today companies that are not producing their content, they're not producing, they don't have a commodity, right? Because at the end of the day, who's going to know who you are? Where are you? What are you doing? What do you serve? What problem is your business solving today? How is it solving it better today than it did yesterday? Right?
What's going to be my goal? What's going to be my strategy? And this strategy goes to everybody else as well. In terms of digital marketing, what are we going to do? What does digital marketing have to do now? Because at the same time, everybody's staying home, and everybody, you still have internet access. They still have, Wi-Fi. They're still working from home, or at least, and almost now they're even more attentive. So if this is a 1 month, 2 month thing, 3 month, who knows? Like you say, what's the strategy in terms of how we're going to continue reaching them? Best way to reach them, obviously you can't, you got to do it through, where they live. They live on their laptop or on their phone. So we have to continue targeting these people. We can't slow down. We have to continue targeting. We may even have to ramp it up.
That's right.
So even more so. So what is going to be our strategy at Selecta Insider DM for our customers, Selecta Magazine being one of them, and our other customers, how are we gonna continue reaching that market and growing it.